shocking miracles to the worst mistakes, these are 1 in a million NFL moments. In a remarkable display of statistical improbability, the Chicago Bears achieved a 1 in a million NFL moment in 1932. During that season, the Bears managed to tie 3 consecutive games, a feat that is highly unlikely to ever occur again. I mean, did the team start using a bowling ball once overtime started? How the hell does this happen? Ties were more common in the early years of the league, but even by those standards, this occurrence was extraordinary. Speaking of bowling balls in overtime, I think Bill Belichick must have been hit in the head with one before this next moment. Bill Belichick, the head coach of the New England Patriots, made a baffling decision during a 2015 regular season game against the New York Jets. In overtime, after winning the coin toss, instead of choosing to possess the ball, Belichick elected to kick off. Wait, what? Now, I hate to second guess Belichick, but there is absolutely no justification for this decision, and he paid for his boneheaded move. The Jets scored a touchdown and won the game on the opening drive of overtime. Bad call, Billy. But not as bad of a call as the replacement refs made. In 2012, while the NFL referees were on strike, the Seattle Seahawks faced the Green Bay Packers in a Monday Night Football game that would go down in NFL history as one of the most controversial NFL moments. With only seconds remaining in the game, Russell Wilson heaved up a Hail Mary into the end zone. The ball seemed to be caught simultaneously by wide receiver Golden Tate and defensive back M.D. Jennings. The play was reviewed in great detail due to the magnitude of the call. Everyone with a fully developed human brain seemed to believe that M.D. Jennings was the one who had possession and that the Packers would be rewarded the victory. However, the replacement officials controversially awarded a touchdown to Tate. The call sparked outrage and intensified the call for the return of the regular referees. Damn refs deserve a little more appreciation, don't they? And so does Kenyon Drake, cause the guy could fly. The Miami Miracle unfolded during a December 2018 regular season game between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. In a stunning display of last-minute chaos, the Dolphins executed a sequence of multiple lateral passes, resulting in a walk-off game-winning touchdown, the first of its kind in NFL history. Trailing by 5 points with seconds remaining, the Dolphins' Kenyon Drake ran the ball 52 yards after receiving laterals from Kenny Stills and Devontae Parker. The Pats were absolutely stunned as the Dolphins capped off the miracle victory. The Dolphins' exceptional play was a full team effort, but this next player didn't need any teammates because he could do it all by himself. In a truly bizarre NFL moment, Minnesota Vikings quarterback Brad Johnson experienced a 1 in a million occurrence during a midseason game against the Carolina Panthers. As Johnson attempted a pass deep in Panthers territory, it was deflected by a Carolina lineman only to miraculously land back into Johnson's hands. Johnson sprinted towards the wide-open end zone and scored a self-touchdown, becoming the only player to ever throw and catch a touchdown pass on the same play. Now try to wrap your head around that one. While Brad Johnson's throwing and catching touchdowns, you should be liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Cause why not? It's nowhere near as difficult as this next play. In 2014, New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. made one of the most sensational catches in NFL history. I mean, it looked to defy physics, it was so astonishing. Facing the Dallas Cowboys, Beckham jumped high in the air, reached behind himself, and with one hand, plucked the football from midair for a jaw-dropping touchdown grab. The moment quickly went viral and became an instant sensation, catapulting Beckham to stardom. Speaking of defying physics, check out this next one. In a truly extraordinary NFL moment, during the divisional round game between the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers, the coin toss for overtime left everyone flabbergasted. Referee Clete Blakeman flipped the coin, but instead of spinning and rotating as expected, it glided smoothly to the ground like a frisbee without flipping at all. Blakeman, players, and spectators were left stunned. The moment was so perplexing, Blakeman decided to reflip the coin even though the rules didn't require it. And once again, the Cardinals won the toss and ultimately won the game, advancing to the conference championship. Some games come down to a coin flip, others come down to moments that will never be repeated in a million years. In a remarkable 2003 game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints, an unlikely touchdown unfolded in the most absurd fashion. The Saints executed a perfectly improvised play with quarterback Aaron Brooks passing to Dante Stallworth, who then lateraled it to Michael Lewis. Lewis in turn lateraled the ball to Deuce McAllister, who miraculously managed to pass it back to Jerome Pathon for a touchdown. The Jaguars were spun around, left searching the field for their underpants. The play seemed like a game-tying moment for the Saints, but their fortunes quickly turned sour. On the ensuing extra point attempt, Saints kicker John Carney missed the kick, resulting in a 20-19 loss. Are you kidding me? Not only did they lose the game, the loss also ended the Saints' hopes for a playoff spot. And John Carney had to sleep with one eye open for months to make sure Saints fans didn't break into his home and beat the hell out of him. And if you think that moment was wild, then this next play must be straight out of the jungle. It was so wild. With only 16 seconds left in the 2000 playoff game, the Tennessee Titans trailed the Buffalo Bills by 1 point. The ensuing kickoff turned into a perfectly executed trick play. Fullback Lorenzo Neal fielded the kick and lateraled it to tight end Frank Wycheck, who sprinted to the right side of the field. As the Bills closed in on Wycheck, he threw a lateral pass all the way across the field to wide receiver Kevin Dyson. Dyson then raced 75 yards to the end zone, securing a stunning touchdown. The play sealed the victory for the Titans and is forever remembered as the Music City Miracle. But if you ask Bill fans, it should be called the Music City Forward Lateral. We've seen games end in 1 in a million moments, but up next is a game that started with a play that will blow your mind. Darius Raynaud was so fired up for the start of the NFL football season that his brain ceased to function. Despite being a professional player, Raynaud forgot a fundamental rule of football: never step out of the end zone on a kickoff return. In a bizarre turn of events, he fielded the kick with his foot out of the end zone and then took a knee, giving the Steelers 2 free points. The officials confirmed it was a safety, making it the fastest scored point in NFL history. That was crazy, but what Antonio Brown did at number 10 is so crazy, he must have been out of his damn mind. In a heated divisional matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2014, Antonio Brown fielded a punt on his own 28-yard line. Brown displayed his agility and elusiveness, zipping his way through Browns with only one man left to beat, the punter. And instead of dancing around him with ease, Antonio Brown did something no one was expecting. He threw a flying kick to Spencer Lanning's head like a ninja. This isn't MMA, Antonio. This dude completely lost his marbles. Fortunately, Spencer Lanning was fine, but this next guy was far from fine. Lawrence Taylor may have been the most ferocious linebacker to ever step foot on the football field. He was basically half man, half monster. In a 1985 divisional matchup, Joe Theismann, the Redskins quarterback, fell victim to the dominant defensive force of Lawrence Taylor. As the Redskins attempted a trick play known as a flea flicker, Theismann received the ball back but was met with a crushing sack from Taylor. He came in like a train and just railroaded the poor guy. The impact caused a compound fracture, snapping both bones in Theismann's leg. The devastating and grotesque injury ended Theismann's football career. And viewers still can't get the image of Theismann's leg dangling like a cat toy out of their heads 40 years later. Ouch! Now that's painful! But at 8, we have a moment that was painful for Vikings fans. In 2003, the Vikings held the 7th overall selection in the draft. But in an inexplicable turn of events, the Vikings missed their pick. I mean, what an awful time to go to the bathroom, am I right? The Jacksonville Jaguars swooped in and made their choice, selecting Byron Leftwich. Following suit, the Carolina Panthers capitalized on the unexpected turn of events and picked Jordan Gross at 9. It was only then that the Vikings management group woke up from their deep slumber and selected Kevin Williams. Clearly, someone didn't know how to do their job properly. Dan Connolly, on the other hand, proved that he wasn't only capable of doing his job, he could do other players' jobs too. Usually, offensive linemen are portrayed as fat guys that couldn't even catch an ice cream truck. But Dan Connolly put that stereotype to bed during a 2010 game against the Green Bay Packers. Connolly was initially set to block for the returner on a kickoff. However, the ball was kicked short and landed in his hand. Realizing the potential for a remarkable play, Connolly held the football unconventionally and skillfully maneuvered through the Packers' defense like an elephant on roller skates all the way to an impressive 71-yard kick return. He was eventually brought down at the Green Bay 4-yard line in a moment that made football fans think to themselves, maybe these big fellas are being underutilized. Speaking of underutilized, the Giants failed to utilize their brains at number 6. The miracle in the Meadowlands was a 1 in a million moment that goes down in the record books. In the final seconds of the Eagles-Giants game, the Giants were in control with a 17-12 lead and possession of the ball. They simply needed to take a knee and run out the clock. However, as we've come to realize, things aren't always as simple as they seem in the NFL. The Giants made the brain-dead decision to run a play instead. What followed was a series of mishaps and miscommunication leading to a fumbled handoff. The Eagles seized the opportunity, scooped up the loose ball, and returned it for a game-winning touchdown. And the Giants were left on the field reconsidering their life choices. The Giants aren't the only ones scratching their heads. Up next is a moment so cringy, we're glad it only happened once. The butt fumble is a 1 in a million NFL play that Mark Sanchez has lived to regret. Sanchez was in the midst of an atrocious season for an embarrassing Jets team. And right when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse for him, they did. In a freak accident of a play, Sanchez, avoiding the defense, ran head-face into his offensive lineman's big fat butt. And to make matters worse, the collision forced Sanchez to fumble the football, and then it was taken back the other way for a touchdown. Talk about a bad day at the office. At number 4, we've got a player who made history by barely gaining any yards, but it was still spectacular. Marion Barber's incredible 2-yard run stands out as an embodiment of unlikely greatness. Starting from his own 5-yard line, Barber defied all odds, slipping and dancing the tackles of 6 New England defenders, including 5 in his own end zone. It was like he was lubed up with grease, and the Patriots just couldn't wrap him up for the life of them. His relentless determination and ability to keep standing was truly spectacular. Barber's run that took him backwards about 10 yards eventually turned into the most spectacular 2-yard gain in NFL history after he successfully made it back to his own 7-yard line. The feat showcased Barber's hard-nosed, punishing running style that earned him the nickname Marion the Barbarian. Somehow, the Patriots seem to be included in all the most unlikely plays, don't they? And at number 3, we've got another miracle that they found themselves on the wrong side of. As the clock wound down, the Patriots were on the brink of sending the game into overtime with a 24-24 tie. However, Chandler Jones missed a crucial tackle on running back Ramondre Stevenson at the line of scrimmage. This allowed Stevenson to break free and attempt a game-winning run for the Patriots. Before getting tackled, he lateraled the ball to wide receiver Jacoby Myers. Myers tried to salvage the play by blindly throwing the ball towards quarterback Mac Jones. Whoopsies! The ball ended up being intercepted by Chandler Jones himself, who scored a game-winning touchdown. The entire sequence defied all odds and left both teams stunned. Speaking of stunning moments, up next is a true David versus Goliath tale. Standing at just 5'7" and weighing 210 pounds, Maurice Jones-Drew faced off against the massive 6'5", 272-pound Shawn Merriman. Yet, despite the size difference, Jones-Drew delivered a bone-crushing block that sent shockwaves through the field. Merriman was left flat on his back like a pancake, gasping for air. This unexpected feat allowed the Jaguars to score an easy touchdown, and proved that some players can straight up defy physics. Mojo may have been an underdog in that matchup, but at number 1 we have possibly the greatest underdog story in NFL history. Last but not least, we need to mention the helmet catch. Cause if given 10 million more tries, I doubt the Giants could have beaten the Patriots that year. The Pats were storming into the Super Bowl with an 18-0 record. They were likely the best team in NFL history. But clearly, they weren't quite good enough. With just over a minute left in the game and trailing by 5 points, Eli Manning found himself under immense pressure, but managed to escape and launch a desperate throw. And with legendary safety Rodney Harrison draped all over him, David Tyree, who had barely stepped on the field that year, somehow managed to pin the ball against his helmet as if it were magnetically attracted to it. No matter what Harrison did, that ball never came loose. The Giants followed up the miracle with a touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress, and history as we know it was rewritten. There you have it. Those were 1 in a million NFL moments. If you liked this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, check out the video currently on your screen to keep on rolling with our NFL videos.